To this video of how to fit a compression joint. This is an inline coupler for copper, and it's an isolation valve, so that the valve there in the middle is in the open position at the moment. If you turn it a quarter of a turn so the line is vertical, it will be closed, and it just operates a little bore valve underneath, inside. So what we do is we find where the arrow is. In this case it says 22mm, and there's an arrow pointing in that direction, so that's the flow of water. So this will actually be connected to a bath tap, flexible tap connector, and this I'll put the copper pipe into here. So this is the run of copper pipe I'm going to use. It's only about 10 inches long, so one end will go into this fitting and the other end will go into a John Guest Speed Fit T, which is just a push fit, and a rubber O-ring creates a seal. But for this video I'm going to install this. So what we're going to do is, again, check the arrow, which is here, so the pipe will go in this side. So what I'm going to do is just take the nut off, and inside there's a copper ring. This is called an olive. So how this compression joint works is this this copper pipe, you put the nut on first, and you put the olive on, and then you put the main body on. Just push it down until it stops. It will stop when it hits the surface there, and then just tighten it up off finger tight first. What happens is when you tighten the nut, the olive will compress onto the tube, and also it will compress onto the surface inside there and on the side inside the nut. So it will create, it will self seal. Basically it will compress and flatten up against the stops here. So again, we'll just put it on finger tight first, and then what I'll normally do is, using a pair of mole grips, hold the body of the connector. It doesn't have to be super tight, just enough for it to stop turning, and this body of the valve screw will create a stop for the surface of the mole grip. So that's done, and then simply use the appropriate size spanner to do up the nut. And this is a 32mm spanner. This is a ring spanner I'm using. You can use an open-ended spanner as well. So just slide it on. Slide it on, and hold the mole grips firmly and turn it. You can see the resistance. You can feel the resistance is immediately building up. What that resistance is the olive, is the actual olive deforming. So especially because copper is a very ductile material, it's basically forming to match the shape of the nut and the body that are pressing it in like this. So it only needs a little turn. I'll undo that now. As you can see, the olive now has compressed down onto the copper tube, and that's not going anywhere. So to enhance the seal and to make sure there's no leaks, what I usually do is using some PTFE tape, go around the olive, only needs a few turns, 3 or 4 is sufficient, but it just sort of guarantees the seal. And I've never had a compression joint fail, a compression fitting fail, i.e. cause a water leak, so they're pretty reliable. And you don't need any heat like a normal end feed or soldering fitting. So what I also like to do, and this is recommended, even if you don't put PTFE around the olive, I'd recommend putting some PTFE tape around the thread of the compression fitting here. Again, only needs 3 or 4 turns, but it creates a very good watertight seal. Keep it taut while you're turning it around. I may put 5 or 6 turns on there, but anyway between 3 and 6 is enough. Don't put too much, otherwise you lose the thread and it will be a bit difficult to put the nut on. So that's done. You can still see the thread in there, and then now make sure you've checked everything, because you don't want to start taking this on and off all the time. So that will still turn because the PTFE tape is still quite thin. Now it's gripped and it's started taking up the thread, so I'll do it finger tight, and now I'll use the spanner to do it up fully. I think we're pretty much there. And I think that's good enough. Pretty much done. These silver flakes you see on the paper are just the chrome finish coming off the body of the compression fitting. Nothing too much to worry about. It's just where the mole grips have bitten into the surface finish and flaked a bit off. You can see a few specks, but it's nothing to worry about. So there we have it, a completed compression joint. Job done. I've shown you how simple it is. Give it a go yourself, and good luck. Thanks for watching.